very least, seeing kind of open up that jungle pool quite a bit. Even potential Jarvan could be something.
Blitzcrank ban might unironically be Lulu first pick. I'm not kidding.
Lulu could be the option. Hyper-scaling AD carries are still up. We haven't seen a Jinx yet. We haven't seen an Aphelios. We haven't seen a Twitch. I mean, maybe we... the irony would be if Game 5 is just full front to back. I don't really want that, but a lot of the picks are still on the table.
Yeah, I think there's not much engaged supports left, so you might just end up with double enchanter bot lane here.
There's also the option for something. There you go. Yeah.
Lulu first pick. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say there's still options for like an Alistar and F. Now Alistar obviously doesn't do too well into the Lulu, but you still have those potentials there. But Aurora hovered here.
This Aurora's been banned quite a few games. They even decided to ban it last game over the Zyra. Curious to see like why they feared it so much.
It's one of those picks we've seen in its best games that can find those flanks, that can just delete a key carry. And now with so many of the conventional options taken away, it's just generally a pretty strong laner.
I think the big question now for me is like, I almost feel like we're going to get two very dive heavy versus kite heavy essentially going to split. Because I think if I'm Fnatic, what I'm eyeing up is the Jinx on this next rotation, and maybe something like the Shogath for Oscar in that top lane and say, hey, we've got beefy front line, we just want to try and play it out. But that suddenly opens up things like the Camille potentially for Kana, a Galio with this J4. There is so much that you can go for here.
I love this J4. Lulu already says, hey, you're probably going to pair it with an immobile AD carry if you want to go for Jinx, if you want to go for Aphelios, and Jarvan makes that a very hard decision.
Yeah, the problem now is because the series is out, there's not really much picks you can pick here that are mobile into this Jarvan. I would presume that Sivir is the safest blind that they can have, but Volibear, all right. They want to fight.
International pick, we've seen it a lot in other regions, haven't really seen it here in playoffs, but now we finally get to see it. Can be aggressive early, can match a lot of what the Jarvan can do.
Now, what ADC does Upset go for? I really want to see. Does he just say, I don't care about the Jarvan, I'm still going to look at a mobile ADC? Or does he think like he really needs some level of mobility?
Oh, okay.
MF is a strange one.
Yeah.
For me, MF is quite a strange pick here because it's not the greatest with Lulu. It doesn't have the greatest setup, and it's still immobile.
Yeah, it nearly feels like they're just trying to take away from Kalist rather than augmenting their own game plan, which I think would have been a Jinx, have that strong front line and play through it, but very worried about a potential MF ult over the top of the Jarvan ults, and now you get the Jhin on the opposite side, still kind of has that potential follow-up for a J4.
Yeah, when you look at KC, their composition clearly has goals, good tools. The Jarvan can lock people in place. The Jhin has good follow-up. Doesn't need to follow the dive threat the KC are putting together, whereas on the side of Fnatic, you have Lulu, movement speed steroids, enhancing the auto attacks with the passive. MF's going to use none of that as we get later in the game.
I mean, one thing I do like about the MF, though, is that you have MF and Volibear, who are both incredibly strong in this early game. So, as we've seen, Fnatic do know how to click forward, and with these two champions, they will be able to do so.
I am curious what KC want to try and round out their draft with, though, because we've seen a lot of enchanters don't really go great with Jhin. My option could maybe be something like the Seraphine here, so you're just playing to essentially poke and push, or sorry, follow up on any sort of the Jarvan engages, but Alistar is kind of the only other engage pick that's still up and available, unless something weird like the Elise comes through.
Yeah, I would like to see an Elise. I think you don't really want to go for something that's too heavy of an enchanter. You either want to go for something that's like a kill lane, like an Elise, or you go for a mage support. But I don't remember the last time I saw a mage support in competitive.
Targamas hasn't had the best track record, right? He won on Renata. Every other range support he's played so far, I believe he has lost on. Gwen actually going to be the takeaway. Not wanting to give another AP solo laner or another champion who can effectively just ignore what the MF does.
And that makes me think they want to draft tanks into this. Oh, the Karma actually. It makes a lot of sense. It's pokes, it's still an enchanter, and it's good with Jhin. Nice pickup here. But the Gwen ban makes me think they want to pick a tank on top here because they're into this Jhin. Wait, no, they're going Camille. Oh my god.
This is... Wow. I mean, we've got essentially 1-3-1 side lane setup. We've got excellent teamfight follow-up in the MF and just a lot of early game power. And KC, to a certain degree, are trying to match fire with fire. These early to mid-game skirmishes are going to be incredibly bloody.
But I'm so surprised here they banned the Gwen over the Renekton, when Renekton's typically been the go-to ban that you always need to do when you want to pick this Camille. So now you have a really tough top lane matchup. I'm curious to see how they'll play it, because the bot lane matchup is hard too into the Jhin Karma.
It also just kind of feels like the Lulu sticks out like a sore thumb in this composition, where she can kind of speed up the Volibear. But
Game 5, you heard Silver Scripts. You know what time it is. You can hear KC fans and Fnatic fans alike Berlin alive with the sounds of both teams. One shot for both of them. A match against G2 tomorrow. Revenge for Mickey or revenge for Yike. We'll have to see. Only one.
I need to go back to this Lulu. Just Ignite plus Electrocute. This is going to be the most psychopathic Lulu I think I've ever seen. And she's already looking for a cheese on mid.
Yeah, I think for Fnatic, coming back to kind of the point you made about the MF, I think you're kind of hoping Humanoid has access to Yike's ultimate and Vladdy's ultimate to try and start off these fights. Yes, Oscarina also has that lockdown, but I think you're very dependent on what ultimates Humanoid has access to start off these fights. So for Fnatic, yes, they can fight, but it's a case of how and when they should fight is really the questions that are standing up for me.
He has Electrocute and Scorch. Yeah. my man is committed to these first couple of levels. That is aggressive. It looks like the flag will spot out Razork.
I do think, though, that Fnatic will want to swap here because this top lane matchup is really difficult level 1, and the bot matchup is quite hard with Karma being so good at getting push. And with the Electrocute, maybe you now actually have enough damage to dive this Renekton, but KC are not prepared for it. Yike is going to be forced out of the jungle.
Yeah, flag at least spots them, so don't be caught unaware. Start for Razork because he starts to clean that one out. Vladdy getting a little bit of poke. And Humanoid might be in trouble. Has to flash. Already used the abscond. So solid early exchange. Yes, Yike put a little bit behind, and that level 1 Jarvan clear not super strong, but it does mean Humanoid losing his flash.
You can see Mickey starting to drift in towards mid lane though, because you want Humanoid to get access to this wave. Little nervous about what might happen here, but at least you'll be able to keep Humanoid safe, and as Kana and Vladdy share XP, I think that also gives Mickey the opportunity to drift down to keep Oscarina safe on any sort of potential dive as well. But Yike starting to open mid, and now Razork
coming in from behind. Level 2 now available for Kana and Vladdy. Autos from Razork. Yike coming in as well. Razork, did he hit Q? Razork can't do anything, he just gets killed!
But this is a level 2 Renekton. What is Fnatic thinking here? They're getting way too greedy, trying to go for too much, and Razork's just one-shot.
What did he even skill? He started E level 1. What was his level 2 option? Upset, getting some good damage down to Kana, but Kana has a red buff now.
Yeah, the problem was that Razork was level 2, Humanoid was level 1, Mickey was level 1, and both Vladdy and Kana just hit 2, so there was just no way they were ever going to win out the fight because Yike also had shown up on the mid wave. So just very greedy, as Jack was saying, and just an overstep from Fnatic.
To be fair, last game, they also swapped, and it looked terrible. So
give them false
maybe
hope.
this is all part of the formula.
Okay, that's a little bit too much copium for me in Game 5, I think. This is a disadvantageous situation. I don't think we need to we don't need to cope too far. But yes, you're right. Maybe history repeats itself here as Mickey starts to get aggressive. That's the Electrocute proc. You do not want to meet this Lulu in a dark alley. She's going to beat the heck out of you.
I thought you would say solo queue, but...
Yeah, also that. Whether on your team or against you. Yeah, it is the dark alley. The darkest alley, really. Humanoid gets a good abscond. Has the additional sustain. Oh, Vladdy taking a lot of damage, but now the extended plays. Where starts to take flash. Whoa, flash doesn't need it. Vladdy finishing the kill. That sucks for Humanoid.
Oh, Vladdy, man. What a joy to watch. This guy has just looked so phenomenal. Day after day, I feel like he's getting better and better. And I feel like finally, we have a mid laner that might be able to beat Caps.
A tall task to be certain, at least for right now. He's beating Humanoid in the 1v1. Losing the flash certainly did not help him. But Vladdy has a pot. He has 2 pots. He does not pop a pot in this exchange. Stone cold.
I think Humanoid just thought, look, Vladdy doesn't have an awful lot of mana left. Maybe I can look for the all-in and get the heal, but the auto's doing work, and it was oh no.
Trying to find the angle. But again, that is a Renekton with red buff.
He's going to be out. Renekton's only 4 CS, but it's actually up in gold just due to the first blood kill. But the wave here is very bad for Oscar.
But the problem is, how do you try and fix this now as Fnatic? Because you try and run into mid lane as Razork, you get slowed, there's nothing really to follow up on, and you just kind of have to walk away. You go into the bot lane, kind of slices and dices his way out. This is where the Volibear does struggle if you don't have that setup to try and make it happen. And I don't think Oscarina really wants to jump in on towards Kana right now with the way the matchup is tending.
No, the 0-1 Volibear is a very bad feeling, right? Similar to Jarvan, it can be very feast or famine. The difference is the Jarvan just offers so much more utility. Level 6 is rapidly approaching. Level 5 for Vladdy, slight XP lead over Humanoid. So for now, we're finally getting that 2v2 matchup. Fnatic at least avoided the first 2 levels, that initial push, but Targum is still very tough to lane against.
The problem is they have a pretty decent XP lead on the Jhin here, and they will be able to just keep getting this push.
Stun onto Oscar. Good use of the adaptive defenses. But now Pings going into the jungle, trying to get a bit more control on the top side of the map as Yike might fish for an angle.
They're trying to see if he can get in onto this top side, but for not really finding much of an opportunity. For KC though, if they can manage to take down Fnatic here, it has still been their best finish of all time. But if they can manage to push themselves forward to the finals, what a turnaround it can be. You can see the finishes there on your screen. It has not been the best of times in 2024 for KC, but it steadily improved and got better over the course of the splits. And now the first split of 2025 could be absolutely wondrous for them, but it's Fnatic that seem to just constantly find ways to hold on against every team they faced off against the playoffs.
And it's been so exciting to see KC's growth. You saw Summer last year, the addition of Vladdy, it looked like a completely new team. And now with Kalist coming in, they've just leveled up even more. And for me, even if they lose today, I'm so excited to see how they'll do throughout the year, because I feel like this team has so much potential for further growth.
Definitely an impressive showing thus far this season, this year. Vladdy, really the pleasant surprise, right? Kalist felt like an inevitability. We were all just waiting to see when he would arrive to the league. Vladdy, another big standout though, and already doing well on the Aurora in that mid lane matchup. Has level 6. Maybe can start to look to make a few more plays on the side lane as Targum is at least getting some control of the vision here.
On the opposite side, though, I think the biggest shout-out has been Oscar Rinnan for Fnatic, right? This guy, a lot of people were saying was the weak point, the weak part of the chain for this team. But he has really held them close as they get in towards playoffs. And now Upset, looking to just push Yike out, but he really has stepped up massively. Whether it's the Mbessa, whether it's the Poppy or the Cassante, he's been great. Now Humanoid going up against Kana.
Doing okay. Alt traded for Alt here. Humanoid, not a lot of ability haste, so really needs to be careful. Over-aggressive on that play. Cooldown just not low enough on the Kingslayer for him to heal back up.
The past repeats itself. He loses Flash against this Renekton. Humanoid is having a really tough game so far. And this Aurora is doing so much damage.
I mean, Vladdy's sitting pretty. They swap lane assignments here. Camille also doesn't want to, no one wants to really play against this Aurora at this stage of the game. And Vladdy not even going to opt for boots, just trying to finish that first item as quickly as he can.
You can see the gold lead on mid is just growing and growing. 1k already now. And they can move mid here into top and look for a dive onto Oscar Rinnan.
Oscar Rinnan gets a decent chunk, but Yike is the big threat here. Alti, the flash. Alti still there for Oscar Rinnan, but knew that it wouldn't really save him in that context.
Oscar's losing a lot of farm here, being zoned out. He's actually able to re-enter finally, but loses the full cannon wave. While on the other side, Renekton will lose a few minions. Oh, will actually opt to go all the way mid, and they'll look to swap back here and put the Renekton into the Camille.
Fnatic could grab some plates. Oscar Rinnan, if he can stop a back here, it'll be big.
He
can't see. He can't see in the bush.
He doesn't know, right? But he's faking that he's going to eat a bush to try to make him cancel his
Alti
base.
as Humanoid gets on top of Vladdy. Can he find the solo kill? Goes in, good damage. Conqueror proc, but Vladdy just not afraid.
Close, close. It's nice to still see, though, that Humanoid still has some fire left in him, and he keeps trying to go for these plays despite being 1,000 gold down.
Yeah, but the Lion still has some fire left. I thought we'd be saying that about Vladdy, right? He's supposed to be the rookie in the Game 5, super stressful, fearless situation. He's on face, 1-0-1, Hextech Revolver finished, styling on Humanoid in a lot of these circumstances. This is a guy who just does not care.
And what a poetic way to start off a potential move on to his first finals in the LEC. For the longest time, it was Humanoid that people talked about as that potential upset in towards Caps, someone who could finally match what Caps has brought to the league. And now that same conversation is starting to happen for Vladdy, and taking down Humanoid feels like that passing of the torch potentially here for the KC side. But you do have to try and hold on to this lead and push it forward.
Definitely do. First time completion, Mickey forced to flash away.
This Renekton is forcing flashes left and right.
Crocodiles are scary, man.
Look. It's not, 2016, 2017 anymore. The R5 Renekton is truly scary now.
I grew up in the LPL as B1 Renekton is scary there.
It's commitment.
But this was a bit of a disrespect to give this
Vladdy on the way in. Upset caught. Massive damage, instant ulti. Vladdy can take his time. Won't quite make it to the edge, though. That slow actually super crucial from Mickey.
Humanoid
Teleport unleashed. Humanoid off to the side. Can steal away the Jarvan ultimate and look to lock somebody up. It looks like the target might be Vladdy, but they're backing away instead. Razork also flashing.
And now it's Jinbi.
Oh, target miss. Forced to flash.
But the problem is if you look
at chasing. Ulti, they are going to kill Targamas. There's certainly no way out of that one. They committed a lot to this fight. Now Kalista can just open up with the ultimate, and it's Mikyu's in trouble. They know that he's flashes from the previous fight. Meanwhile, the bot lane is a 1v1, but Razork is already dead. And KC again, finding the angle. We're 10 minutes in, and they're 2.5k.
And it's a tale as old as time. Fnatic keep wanting more and more. But during all of this, Jin was silently hitting mid, denying CS. And if you look at the gold lead in mid lane, it's just growing. 1.1k now with a 20 CS lead on this Aurora.
And you called it, it's miscommunication on the Fnatic side. Upset had gone back to the wave, didn't think he was needed. They overcommit then, trying to get Targamas, and the turnaround comes from KC, and it's the big thing about Jin is how effectively he can follow on any sort of play in river thanks to that ultimate. And now Fnatic find themselves a little bit further behind. We'll catch it on the replay here. It's the engage on towards Targamas, and I was going to point out, this is where it does get tough for Fnatic to try and find those plays, but Targamas just goes that bit too far, so they can actually get the engage they want. But it's the turnaround after with Kalista, who's already set up a mid. But look where Upset is. He's gone back to try and collect that wave. Now he has to try and move down, so he loses more of the wave. So it's not only the fact that you're losing in the fight, it's losing on the map state as well.
Yeah, and it's just this want for more that Fnatic keeps showing that's been both their biggest strength and their biggest weakness.
Yeah, sometimes that aggression has netted them so many advantages, but I mean, it's been back and forth today, right? There have been good moments, there have been bad moments, but certainly there's always been that aggression, and it's going to get hard, right? Jin, who's snowballed like this, who has a goalie like this, who can just sit back and snipe so many of these squishy members. The bottom side of the map, Oscar maybe can be the one to make the difference. Isolate, pick off people like Camille, or like Kalista, excuse me, like Vladdy.
And I think the first time we really saw people talking about Oscarinin was at those internationals where suddenly he takes the Camille, pops off against some of the LPL top laners, and everyone kind of goes, hang on a second, where has this Oscarinin been? So it's not like it's been the first time that he's had to take this Camille and try and carry across the finish line, but it is looking more and more difficult.
Wild Growth manages not to sidestep the route. Quick ulti and flash out from Yike. Mickey already taken down. I mean, it's a good call out, but right now, Fnatic just grasping at straws. Ulti used to clear the mid-wave. Razork in trouble here. Volibear, the early game terror, already feeling like he just does nothing. Curtains called upon him. 2-0-2 for Kalist. Feats already in favor of KC.
And KCORP are dominating, punishing Fnatic wherever they strike. First onto Mickey, then onto Razork. Now they're onto Humanoid. They're going to be punishing and poking him down, but we got to fight on bot lane.
And Oscarinin just, I think, desperate to get something back, wants to extend his lead, but Khan is still powerful, forcing him away.
6 scrubs as well for KCORP, which just means that when both of these sides are losing, getting pushed in, it makes it even worse.
Kalista and KC sitting pretty. I mean, guys, at 13 minutes, it's a 4K gold lead.
Yeah.
And it's not a fake 4K gold lead where it's like on a support. It's 1.2, 1.1 for mid and bot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want the narratives to click perfectly into place. I like it when people mix things up, but come on, it's like the two rookies, Vladdy and Kalist, and they're just popping off.
It's true. For me, the sad part of it about this game is that, as we talked about Oscarinin, I feel like he's been left to dry, but it's not really his fault. The Renekton got an early kill and was able to pick up the call because of it as well, and now due to those factors and the fact that he got 6 grubs, he's just able to extend this lead, when normally, if you play the matchup well as Camille, as he has done, you would be equal with the Renekton right now and winning on the Triforce spike. But he's now down 1.3k gold because of this call, because of this early kill, and these 6 grubs.
Now Renekton backs with the coal popped. Right as the plate gold comes up, you can see 10 times the plate gold going in favor of KC.
Yeah, that's rough.
And as we bring this down, we will see Renekton's items, and I imagine, yeah, that's a fast Black Cleaver on top of improved boots too. Or at least the partial upgrade, excuse me.
And the thing is, if you're constantly losing everywhere else in the map, Oscarinin just never really gets a chance to be dominant in the side lane, no matter how good the scaling is, because he's always going to be playing on the defensive footing. So for Fnatic, they need to find some success elsewhere, and it looks like Oscarin's trying to help that by moving here.
Oscarinin moving in, manages to find Targamas, wants to flash extend onto Kalist, but Kalist for respect flashes out. Now it's going to be Oscarinin who's in trouble. Yike going in, locks up Oscarinin. Oscarinin now managing to ulti back, but it just doesn't matter. Kalist on a killing spree. KC, again, just dismantling Fnatic.
Fnatic are desperate. They're trying everything to just get some gold into carries, but KC, they're always there. They're reading them and making sure that they just can't do anything in this game.
And they're mechanically playing so well as well. Kalist flashing the hook shot there, not giving Oscar Ridden any chance for any sort of play. And yeah, as you said, it's desperation for Fnatic. They need to find some sort of miracle plays because they don't even have real cross-map availabilities because they have 0 grubs against 6.
0 against 6. They're trying to force topside. Kind of already knocked the tower down, moving on to the next wave. Vladdy gonna clear here. There's no play. There's no angle.
And 30 seconds until the Rift Herald as well, so you just get to reset here as KC. You've already forced people off. Oscar Ridden has to collect the tier 2. So you just move Kana into position on mid-wave and you're able to get the Rift Herald without any sort of pressure elsewhere. So KC, they're just constantly keeping the map in a favorable position. Humanoid is looking at Vladdy saying, can I have it? Can I get to the tower?
And I mean, it's so tough for Upset too, right? He has Bloodthirster, so he should be able to take short trades with Kalist, but Renekton is always instantly in the fog of war. Suddenly he can't step up and do anything, and that's Collector, BF Sword, Swifties.
And the thing is, it's not just the Renekton, it's also the Jarvan. When you're playing in a mobile ADC, right now he has no flash. If he decides to contest any mid-wave and Jarvan's around, he's just dead.
Yeah, Fnatic are absolutely playing the game on hard mode. And they maybe didn't have to, but with how things have gone in the early game, the amount of options
they had their identity and they stuck to it.
That they did, Mr. Spectra. That they did. All right, now KC going to pick up most likely yet another objective. Good news for Fnatic is at least they've slowed the soul stacking by taking away an early dragon. Do get some poke onto Kalist, but if Fnatic try to force a fight here again, it feels like it might be the last Hail Mary, zoning them away, trying to get Yike out, forcing a fast play. But Vladdy's level 11.
Yeah.
3K. Does Yike want to go in? I think they can just concede this. They can just be happy with double TPs.
They need to base really fast here to not give Kana any of the spot lane tower because he takes it so damn fast with the 6 grubs.
But if you reset to protect Kana shifts to mid and you lose the mid lane tower, right? So this is where it just becomes an impossible feat for Fnatic. You can see Kana now moving. Should be able to force Upset and Mickey off this, and now you get that mid lane structure.
No, they want to keep him on it.
No flash.
They want to keep him on it, take him out. Upset gets wild growth. I don't think it's going to be enough though. The instant flash from Kana. He's going to be able to go in as well. Razork forced to ult away. Humanoid will at least get 1 tower back, but again, KC holding on to and growing that gold lead even more as tier 2 is in their sights.
It's a disaster. Fnatic just can't keep pacing the map, and you can look at every single fight as it's happening the exact same way. Razork slowed, can't get into fights. Targum is speeding people away from Fnatic as they're desperate to chase them down. And Yike's just like, cool, I'll flag and drag in, I'll flag and drag out. We kill a Fnatic member. It's just, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, and it's really good macro here by KC, as you said, moving Kana into mid. Aurora also chooses to drop the top tower to be in this fight and just make sure that they can actually get this mid tower. And you see the power of 6 grubs. It allows you to just take all these towers so damn fast.
And I think that's been the most impressive part of KC to me, is that this is essentially a team of rookies, but their macro has been insane. Their objective setup is great. The foundation is here for a phenomenal team.
There, connects to Mickey. Razork finds the initial stun. Upset trying his own, has held on to ulti. Rank 2 as well. Humanoid stealing away 1 ultimate, but already 1 member falls. Razork taken out of the equation. Fnatic careful as they run back into the choke. KC happy to just walk in, take the dragon for themselves.
And Fnatic are just too far behind. They can't compete. Razork just gets completely...
Going in on Kalist. Instant ulti trying to punish Kalist. Getting chunked out. That's the shutdown. Now the follow-up. Wild growth coming in. Yike has he overcommitted, a bit of extra healing, but finally Vladdy joins the fray. 1 taken down. Upset now running. Shutdown is big, but it's going to cost him a lot to get it. Upset knows he's done. Mickey running for the hills. Yike wants a little bit more. Flash forward from Vladdy. Not going to connect. His Upset will eventually fall, but they're taking their time. Targets! KC! Potentially overeager because now Oscar Ridden can just keep it going. Trying to wait out the ultimate. Vladdy has no mana left. Shutdown is big. Oscar Ridden going to follow up. Good sidestep from Vladdy. KC still 6K gold ahead, but that was completely unnecessary.
That was a ton of shutdowns for Fnatic here. I don't want to say that they're quite back just yet, but if they get a few more fights like this going, their comp, I mean, this Camille this game can be quite the menace.
KC just didn't really tick off the boxes there. You can see, again, decent fight here where Razork just doesn't really get to do too much. They're able to push them back. Fnatic are very spread, and KC are able to immediately jump onto that back line. and Fnatic have to run for the hills. But as they come out of this, they think that they can easily kill off Humanoid. So it's a good pick. Shutdown goes across onto Kalist, but then KC start to this front to back with Flatty coming in, and they think, okay, we can finish off Humanoid. Now we get the slow onto Upset. So Yike ends up trying to get funky with it, where he goes for the flag and drag to get Mickey as well. Vladdy flashes thinking he can get on towards Mickey, but then this buys time for Upset to get the damage on Targamas. Mickey walks forward to give him the shield as well, and now Oscarinen has come into the fight as well. So KC, trying to get greedy themselves, actually end up getting punished.
Fnatic earned the first shutdown. KC gave them the other kills, right? And that's the difficulty, is that KC, if they clean up their play, those opportunities don't exist as much for Fnatic. KC still have to be diligent, still have to be disciplined. Objective in their sights. Vladdy has ultimate, Kalist as well, but no flash, and you can see, I mean, he just cannot play the game. 2 items completed. Razork throws down the Herald. It's like some sort of desperate Pokemon battle on the top side of the map. Kana fishing for the flash. May have to give his life here. Wild growth there as well, but he is able to just dash out. He has 2 items. He has Sterix already.
It does pull KC off of the Atacon, though, which really wasn't what they wanted to do. You can get the Rift Herald actually make it to top side, but for KC, they would have liked to have completed the objective, but a little bit of a mistake from Kana now. They will just kill the Rift Herald as it goes through, but I don't think they can go back onto the objective very quickly.
I mean, now the problem is though that Kana was able to push in mid, and Oscarinen is resetting for this bot wave. I think they'll have a really hard time re-entering here, and I just don't think they'd have the damage to kill Kana right now.
They also don't have great tools for face checking at this point. Another control ward going to be dropped, another ward. Won't result in much, and Kana.
Oh, Upset's caught.
Finding Upset in the 1v1. Upset, does he even want to flash here? Yes is the answer, but it just was not the right call. Now, Oscarinen going in just into the waiting arms of 5 members of KC, goes in onto Kalist, does nothing. Desperation again from Fnatic, just hoping, praying for that mistake or the misplay.
And it's a complete disaster for Fnatic here.
Humanoid tries to push in a side lane, but just Kana's on the chase. He's got Black Cleaver movement speed. He should just be able to walk him down, but realizes that Humanoid is still pretty strong.
I don't know about this one. I'm pretty
Kana.
sure Kana wins. Maybe not.
He doesn't have ulti. Fury is big. Otacon's still being taken, though, so if Humanoid wants to win the 1v1, he has a very brief window of time. It will fall. KC fans full of energy, full of joy, and rightfully so. 7K gold lead, 22 minutes in.
Fnatic need a miracle.
You can see the coaching staff not looking too happy in the bottom of your screen either. They think they know.
That's the pressure.
Yeah. That this game is not exactly the way they would have liked it to play out. From this position now, KC, like, how do you try and answer back? They just push in mid, they set up vision bot side, they play for bot side turret, fall back for Dragon in a minute. Like, it's so easy.
Guys, we're running out of straws to grasp at here. We're running out of silver linings for the Cloud. They have the Otacon buff. Jin almost has 3 items. I mean, Vladdy's probably just going to go death cap, doesn't even care about magic penetration at all.
Okay, so how does Fnatic win? They need, I think, Humanoid to have Jarvan ult, and they need to first blow the flashes of Kalist and Vladdy and Targamas. Right now, Targamas and Vladdy are about to get their flashes up. So it needs to be 2 turns, right? First you blow the flashes, and then you get a fight a minute later with the Silas Jarvan ult into the MF ult. I think that's the only way. Or Razork makes a play on Oscarinen side and they're able to get the Renekton shutdown, but I just don't think they have the damage.
I was going to say, I 100% agree with you, but it feels impossible to get access to Kalist, to get access to Vladdy when they're just going to play this front to back style. And even on the top side now, you've got this kerfuffle going on as KC take that bot lane tower.
I'm going to be honest, that just sounded very complicated, Mr. Spectra. I just don't think
Well, when you're behind, you need a complicated game plan to get back. If it was that simple, just kill enemy, everybody would do it.
But why didn't you just say that was all
Yeah,
they
just
needed
say,
to
just
do?
kill enemy. I got you now. It's just very hard. All right, KC keeping the siege up. We're close to Baron. Maybe the 50-50 steal will buy Fnatic some more time to just scale in this game. 2 items for Humanoid isn't too bad. 2 items for Upset. This is the Jarvan ult you talked about. They've locked down 1 target, locked him up under tower as well, and they're almost going to finish the kill. Yankee flashes back in, but it's still just the withdrawal coming in.
Vladdy.
And now Vladdy ready to pop off, getting a decent amount of damage down on the first rotation of spells. Now going in, curtain call out. Humanoid likely to fall, making access to body block, but it doesn't matter. They just line up for Vladdy.
Is this just it? Fnatic, do they go out with a whimper? Have KC just knocked themselves into the first finals ever for this organization in the LEC?
Seems damn likely. No ulti for Upset. KC, what could be the final push of this series, 2-0. Fnatic managed to crawl their way back, but in Game 5, KC have just been one step ahead every minute of the game. As we're still standing, holding on to a little bit longer. One last tower in their sights with him down. Vladdy dominating. Upset
Mickey's
doing
up.
what he can to survive. Mickey alive. KC, do they want to fully commit to this? Upset cleansing. Yike going in, trying to finish the kill. Yike maybe giving away too much, but the Nexus is exposed. Kalist, plenty of bullets left in the